Hi guys, today I want to show you something that's kind of synonymous with Tenyo. You think of Tenyo and you think of this trick and vice versa. This is Crystal Cleaver. This is actually the first Tenyo trick that I ever got as a child. I was probably 7 years old, maybe even younger than that, honestly. I got into magic when I was 3 years old, no jokes. That's kind of when I started to get my first magic kit. And so by the time I was 6 or 7, I got this trick for Christmas or birthday or something. And I loved it. I performed it all the time. The method blew my mind. I showed it to all my family like every day. And I showed it to everyone that came over to visit. If my parents were ever like, hey, show them a trick, this was the one I'd run to my room and grab and show them. I loved this thing. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I have had a lot of magic since those years. I have lost a lot of magic since those years, thrown magic away, given magic away, sold magic. Broken magic. A lot of that's taken place since the period of 7 years to 22 years old where I am now. But this trick I've always kept really special care of. This is the same one that I used as a child. I just loved it so much that I always made sure I had it. I kept all the pieces. I never lost anything, never broke anything. This was like my baby. And so I wanted to show it to you guys today, if nothing else but for nostalgic purposes. This is kind of what got me into collecting Tenyo magic, even though I was 6 or 7 at the time, had no clue what Tenyo was. Years later, when I kind of discovered that Tenyo was this whole thing, it rekindled that love I had at 6 or 7 years old. So I just wanted to share this with you guys now. Again, if nothing else but for nostalgic purposes. I think part of the reason I was so attracted to it also was because it looks like a stage illusion, like something you'd see Doug Henning wheel out on stage. And it has this box, this really long box. There's nothing inside the box, but there are 2 slots down the side, as you can see there. Other than that, it's completely empty. Then there's what I would call a crystal case. This is just plastic, but I always told everyone it was a crystal case. It has a solid lid on top, which can come up. It is hinged, but it is a solid lid, as you can see. You can take a look inside the box. There's these 2 little plate things, which you'll see what they do in just a moment. But this can be completely examined by the spectator. Then you also have this base, which can be examined as well. So in fact, the spectator can examine the base. They can examine the box. They can examine the crystal case. They can examine everything and find that it's perfectly content. And then whenever you're ready, you can start by actually borrowing one of their rings. So you take a ring from a spectator and you just put it inside of the box. That's what those little slots are for. You just put the ring so that it's standing straight up inside of the box, like this, okay? And this is just actually the ring that comes with it, which I've also kept track of over the years, but this could genuinely be a wedding band or an engagement ring from your spectator. In fact, when I was a child, I would often perform it with the ring from the trick, and then I also would put a ring on both sides. So often one of my own rings, because I wore a lot of rings as a child because I thought that was cool, and so I would put my ring on one side and then the spectator's ring on the other. So I would actually do this with 3 rings, which is kind of crazy. But for now, we're just going to do this one. I promise that this is a solid ring, though. Nothing tricky about it at all. It goes inside of the box. The lid gets put on top. And now that ring is trapped inside of the box. There's no way for it to move side to side, up and down. It is completely trapped in place. Okay? So now that you have this, the ring inside of the box, they've examined all these different pieces. You assemble them as such. The ring and the crystal case go onto the base. The box itself, which again, completely empty, goes on top. And then there's one more piece that you haven't seen yet, and that is this. I think this is the other reason I fell in love with this trick, because every good illusion has to have a sword. And so this is the sword for this illusion. And this mini sword goes right into the top of the box, far above the crystal. Let me get it in. Come on, where's it at? There we go. Far above the crystal box and the ring itself, and this is where the drama of the illusion starts to come into play. Watch the sword. You can see that it really is going in through right there. I'm going to hold it where you can see this at all times. As you just draw the sword down the box, and when you get to the bottom of the box, it's almost as if it should be inside of the box at this very moment. And if I take it up, you'll see the sword is in fact genuinely inside of the crystal case. Through the 2 holes on the side of the crystal case, the sword somehow has gone through the top of the case, completely through it, and even more importantly than going through the case, it has actually gone completely through the spectator's ring. The case can be completely examined. Once again, the base itself can be examined, the box can be examined, the spectator can play with that all day long, and they'll also see their ring, which of course is, again, their genuine borrowed ring, on the sword, locked on. It's not an optical illusion. It really is genuinely on the sword. The sword itself can be examined. It doesn't come apart. It doesn't bend. It doesn't break. It is a genuine, well, I would say a genuine sword, but it is exactly what it seems to be. It's a solid state gimmick. There's nothing about it that's going to come apart. Not magnetic in any way. And the only way the spectator can get their ring off is, of course, to take the sword right out from the middle. And that is Crystal Cleaver. I think you can see exactly why I fell in love with this trick so many years ago. Of course, the spectator can try it. Some people think that all Tenyo is just like self-working magic. So if the spectator tries to do this, they will find they simply hit the top of the box. It's impossible for this to work. And that's another reason that I loved it, is because after you perform the trick, you can literally give all of this to the spectator and challenge them to try to do the trick. They are completely unable to perform it. And that is the genius of Tenyo. This is what got me into Tenyo. This is what started my love affair with the Tenyo magic. And I thought I would share a little bit of myself with you guys today by demonstrating this wonderful piece.